So we're at the Seminole show and we're fixing to take Creo and show. Showmanship didn't go very good. We got called back, but he acted horrible. So hopefully he acts better. I'm just fitting his legs.
Is really nice. It is certainly going the right way for that young man. So I think there's a couple of things that are close and competitive. All three of these calves are really nice. I think for me there's one that really combines the most in terms of stoutness and power, muscularity, and still the right kind of flexibility, the right kind of balance. The white steer in the back is going to be our champion. We're going to follow up with the young lady's black steer out of the first class for reserve.
In this first class of progress steers, and I would assume that these are all OYE kind of age going towards steers, I think it gets very tough and very challenging because I think you got two really nice steers to start the class. I'm going to go ahead and I appreciate this steer that we're going to start the class with. I would like him to be a little better out of his hip. I would, but he's the one that's at the ground, flexing his hop. The furthest back in his knee, his shoulder lays any better. He's really kneed up through that neck. I know he's not probably quite as presented as the other steers, but this is a steer that has a lot of function and just a lot of good qualities to go out and be a really competitive steer. Really nice steer to start the class with.
Hey, next time I can lay down next time, I guess. I don't know.
Just get on your ride. Next time he lays down, just get on it.
Good job.
Now, you got to show this one next.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, feet of him, his width, good from stretched out. See in there?
Hey, don't wave it in front of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Stand to the side like Papa said.
Okay. Put her over there on the shoulder.
The ones to the left, it makes him to be second. The steer that really caused me trouble that I didn't know what to do with for sure was the Herford mark steer. This one is huge belly, sluice structure. But the longer you study him, I think he gets a little
You'll follow her when we come
rounder out of his pin set. He wants to get in. Again, we come into a class that's fairly challenging because there's not any bad ones. Just three really nice, solid kind of show steer prospects, and it's a nice way to kind of end the classes here. Started the class with the big black and white kind of wild colored steer hat on the end. He's just huge bone, huge footed, he's big top. I went ahead and I think this steer is a nickel stouter than the Herford steer. that could sure change, but I think he's a nickel wider through his stifle, and I think he's a little bit neater in his lower chest. I do think that your steer is a little better bellied and probably a little softer in his finish, and I think that those two steers can get flip-flopped a lot of times, but for me today, I preferred the little bit of extra stoutness to this steer's stifle over your steer. But two very, very nice steers that are very, 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 very uniquely alike. So congratulate both of you. I think this is a super nice, complete, all-free steer. He's not the biggest bone, he's not the stoutest, but he's probably as loose structured as any. I would like him to be a little better out of this hip. I know he's probably the lightest steer we have in the ring, so he's got the most ways to go. By the time I'm sure OIE is his end point. But I think that's a really nice, complete, functional kind of show steer there that he's got a lot of good things about it. We just fix him a little bit out of his hip, and he's probably, and I understand him flipping together, but really nice steer there.
Congratulations to Tracy Baker.
Well, a good class to get us started here at our Progress Steer Show. I think really good cattle in all three of these steers. It was probably the most similar in terms of type and kind between 1 and 2, and I really like both of those steers. I like our class winner though. In terms of his structure from the ground up, he's the most correct one that we have in here in terms of his foot shape, his lower joint work, his angles, and the way everything sits into it, and the way he handles it whenever he gets out in motion is just the most correct. And as you think about these things, getting a little bit heavier, I know they're starting to get there, and they're starting to get just a little chubbier, but I do think in terms of build, just projecting him out, I feel just a little more comfortable. He's set a little more correct and laid back in his knee and his front end. I think he is the best in the travel of his hip and his hind leg. He's not as stout in his bone work, but I still think that he's plenty fine enough. I don't know if I saw that calf by himself, I'd say, man, he's really frail. He could be a little stouter. I think he's good enough. He's got the right kind of rib, the right kind of muscularity. He's still flexible. He's kind of got that wavy haircut that's not super fun to work with, but you're doing a good job. That's just half of the battle, and I think once you get him clipped off, if he continues going the path that he is, he's going to look really, really nice for you. So a good one to lead us off in here. Now the calf in second does have the really nice haircut. You've done an awesome job managing that guy, getting him shown out here today. He has got the most unique pieces, and when you talk about the ESTs, he is that. He is the stoutest in terms of his bone work. He's the biggest out of his hip. He's the boldest in his forearm.
I'm not done. She didn't know it.
I think 3 really nice steers again, and I think very competitive and some differences between them. I think probably the one that hits you the hardest with the most extra pieces is the black and white steer that's going to lead us off. And I think it starts at the ground in terms of stoutness of foot, stoutness of bone work. He really sets the class standard there in terms of his power down low. I think whenever you get him behind the cattle, I probably wouldn't say any of these are just too flat and too closed up. I think they all have plenty enough. That guy is big and stout and powerful out of his upper hip. He could come with just a little more lower quarter and stifle. And probably for me, if I'm going to pick on him right behind his shoulder sometimes, he doesn't blend and transition just perfectly there in the turn to his foreribs, so he could probably come just a shot bolder there up high. But I think that calf has plenty enough in terms of muscle and power. I really like the presence and freshness, balance, and extra stoutness that he puts with that, and still has a nice flexible structure whenever we get the cattle out in motion. He probably is the most comfortable. He's especially better in the lay of his front end and his knee and his shoulder as we get to comparing him probably to the one right behind him. I like the calf in second, especially in terms of his center body. We picked on our class winner a little bit in terms of his forerib needing to transition just a little more flush there. That's where I like this calf that's in second. He is better in the turn and boldness that he has to his forerib. He's really good in terms of his body type. He's got some dimension. Whenever you get off either side of him, he's opened up underneath. I think with that, he gets just a little open in his shoulder. He's wanting to push forward a little bit more. He's got a bit more chest, and so we need to change him, lay him back a little bit up front there, clean him up at the base of his chest, but from there back, that's a really nice kind of a steer that's feeding well and kind of getting a little bit more of that fast steer look. You're doing a good job with him. The calf that's going to round out the 3. I like this guy, and I think in terms of moderation, body type, he's good. He just falls apart the most out here. Some of it, he's really fighting it. He's probably getting a little bit tired, but he is the plainest in terms of his look up front. He gets a little weaker in his top line. He's got a little extra set to his hind leg, and even though I think he's got plenty enough volume of muscle, he probably is the plainest in terms of the expression of the muscle that he has, but still flexible, nice body, and so a lot of good in all 3 of those cattle all the way through. Congratulations to each of them. Back in for our champion drive. Our numbers weren't quite as big in the steers as they were in the heifers, but the top end quality was just the same and just as competitive as those heifers were. I was really impressed working through that show, and just the same as we transition into the steers. I think a lot of really nice cattle, and even though when we bring our class winners back out here, we've got some differences in type and kind, I still think that each of them will be competitive, and maybe for different reasons, but they're all very, very nice nonetheless. So congratulations to each of you guys, and I wish you the very best of luck as you continue on later into the year as we transition into the new year. I hope things continue to go the way they are, because all 4 of these calves are very, very nice. So thank you for letting me come and sort through the cattle today. One more time, if you guys would give Coy and his crew and everybody that makes this possible a big round of applause. I know that you guys appreciate what they do, but they won't hear it enough. So thank you guys, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to get to come sort through the cattle. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been really, really good. So I'm not going to go back through and talk about our class winners. Like I said, I think they're all very nice, and some of them are a little different than each other. But I think nonetheless they'll be very competitive, and I'm sure they have been as you guys have been taking them out. So hopefully everything continues to go the right way. I'll put this down and show you the couple that I like, but thank you again. One more time, congratulate all of these exhibitors. I'll show you the couple that I like.
Work for that bag, go get it one day, you can brag. You want it, gotta work for that bag, go get it one day, you can brag. I say that I have it, you know know that I got it, no need to look all in the bag. Stunning like this cause I work so hard, I'm the best, I only speak facts.
We're not going
How to go to.
So I won both my classes and got $48.
Cool. Oh, pepperoni.
Stay humble, don't die with pride, 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 pride. Get it one day, you can brag.